I'm here today with my 20-week bump date. I don't know why I like to call it bump date. It just update and bump date. 20-week pregnancy update video. I have one on my first trimester. Now I am about halfway through my second trimester and obviously a little more breathy in this video than I was in my last update video. But I am 20 weeks. We did do our 20-week anatomy scan yesterday, which was so fun. So it was really fun because Ted obviously has not done the newborn phase before. He met Ethan when Ethan was 4 years old. And so it's just really fun getting to do this newborn baby phase all over again, and doing it with Ted is just so exciting. And it's just so cute. So we had our anatomy scan yesterday and everything looked great. Her heart looked great. All of the organs that they can see, it looks great. Everything was measuring really well. I'm actually 19 weeks and 3 days. She's now measuring 20 weeks, which at our first scan, she was measuring 2 days ahead of schedule. Now she's measuring almost 6 days ahead of schedule. So I think she is going to be a big baby. So I do have to have a C-section like I mentioned before. If you haven't seen my previous videos, I'll make sure to link them as little info cards up here. And at the end of this video, any other baby or pregnancy related videos. But I am getting a C-section. It's most likely, they schedule it at 39 weeks. So it'll probably be January 2nd, which is like 5 days before my due date. But anytime after 34 weeks, if you go into labor regularly, they'll just do the C-section. So who knows? I have a very strong feeling she's coming early. I think she's gonna come sometime between 37 and 38 weeks. So we'll see. Maybe we can take a bet and see if I'm right or not. I called it on Ethan's. When I was pregnant with Ethan, I had him 2 weeks early, and I had my membrane stripped at on a Thursday. And that day I said, I'm having this baby. This baby is coming by this weekend. Like by the end of the weekend, I'm having a baby. And everyone's like, no, it's your first. You're probably gonna go late. It's gonna be 40, 42 weeks. And I'm like, no, I'm telling you, like my body, I know my body, and he will be here by end of day Sunday. And I had him Sunday morning at 5:49 by C-section. I went into labor Friday, labored Friday, Saturday, and finally they gave me a C-section on Sunday after pushing for 2.5 hours. And he was face up and he was just too big. So Thatcher babies, Ted and his brothers were all 9 to 10 pound babies. I was a pretty standard sized baby. Ethan's dad was a preemie, so he was only about 4.5 pounds, but Ethan was 7.5 pounds when he was born 2 weeks early. So my guess is I would love to have her home by Christmas. Should be 37.5 weeks, I think, if I went into labor with her in time to have her home for Christmas. Because with the C-section, you have to be in the hospital for a few days. So yeah, that's just me kind of rambling. If she could be healthy and ready to come, and she decided to make her presence to this world in time for us to have her home for Christmas, that would just be so, so fun. Anyways, I'm now almost 20 weeks, and I wanted to just kind of share with you some updates or just things that I noticed that were different, how I'm feeling, and of course, like a little bump date. My bump has gotten a little bigger. So my first trimester, just a quick recap, I was very sick. I had morning sickness that lasted pretty much all day, all night. And I think at week 11 is when it finally started to go away. I had, week 11, I had more okay days. And then by week 12, 13, I was like having more good days than I was bad days or okay days. By about 13 weeks, I completely felt like a whole new person. My energy came back. I never got like this crazy energy boost that I hear people talk about. I didn't have more energy than I usually do, but I did have, I definitely had my energy back. I wasn't as tired. My first trimester, I would take a nap and then I would still be ready to go to bed by 7:45. Like I was so physically exhausted all day long. It was the weirdest thing. It's been so long since I'd been pregnant, so I forgot how tired you get. I still get tired. I do like to take a nap if I can fit one in, but if I don't take a nap, I can still hang till like 10 o'clock at night without like completely, falling apart because I'm so tired. But I do like to try to get a nap in if I can. But now that school has started, that's not gonna happen. In the summer, we had something kind of worked out with Ethan that he got to choose. If he takes a nap during the day, then he can stay up later. And if he chooses not to take a nap, then he can go to bed at his normal bedtime. Because he's a kid that needs sleep. So he was like, I love naps, I'll take a nap. So we would take naps together, and then he'd get to stay up till 9:30 in the summer. But school's back in session, he's gonna have a lot of homework, so naps are gonna be axed out, which means the weeks that we have on Mama's naps are also axed out because I got too much stuff to do while he's in school. So yeah, that's kind of, my energy is back. I haven't felt sick, which is so nice. I'm definitely breathy a lot. Like if I try to talk like I'm doing now, I feel like I'm out of breath really, really easily. I haven't had really too much complications or symptoms. I do feel a lot of tightening in my stomach. Obviously my uterus is growing, so I do kind of feel a little bit of those round ligament pains. Sometimes when I cough, I'll get like a sharp pain, or if I stretch a certain way or move my body a certain way, I can kind of like get that sharp little like pinch. My stomach on and off will start to get real hard and kind of tight feeling. At week 15 was the first time that I started to kind of feel her moving. It was really hard because one thing that I did have a lot of is horrible gas pains. Like anytime I would eat, up until from 12 to probably week 16, 17, I would get these horrible gas pains. I don't think it was acid reflux and I don't think it was heartburn, but like right here under my rib cage, when I would eat, it was mainly after I ate dinner. It didn't matter what I ate, how little, how much I ate. It would be so tight and hurt and be so uncomfortable. So that was really, really hard because I just felt like I didn't look forward to eating dinner because I knew even if I have half of what I normally would eat for dinner, I'm gonna have that tight pressure, I'm gonna be super uncomfortable, and I'm gonna be in pain for the rest of the night until I go to sleep. So I just basically eat and then make myself go to sleep because it was the only thing that got rid of the pain. So I had a lot of that, and I had a lot of gas pains. Not so much like gas, like exertion of gas, but like I just had like those gas pains in my stomach. And so that sucked. I'm glad that that's kind of gone away. I get it occasionally, but not nearly as bad. I don't get that tightening up here in my chest anymore. So it was really hard to kind of figure out like, okay, is what I'm feeling the baby? Is it like a gas bubble? Like what is it? But I definitely felt her starting to flutter around off and on. It was very, very sporadic. It'd be like maybe one day I'd feel her once and then maybe 3 or 4 days would go by and I wouldn't feel it again. I kept saying like, I can't wait. I'd just go to sleep with my hands on my tummy, just like trying to feel. And then 2 weeks ago, so about 17 weeks is when I started to feel like the light little taps, like the tiniest little taps. And I'd be like, oh my gosh, she's kicking. And I would start to feel her move and start to feel her like flip around a little more. The last week, I've definitely felt a lot more kicks, a lot more, if I look at my stomach at the right time when she kicks, I can see my stomach kind of poke out a little bit. Last night, see, Ted had kind of felt like the little tiny like taps, but last night when I had his hand there, I was like, oh, she's kicking. She kicked so hard, and the look on Ted's face was so cute. He's like, oh my gosh, I haven't ever felt it like that before. That's so cool, I just need to take a moment. And it was just really cute because everything he'd felt was like very subtle, and he wasn't like sure, like, am I feeling something or not? But he had an undeniable kick to the hand last night, which was really sweet and was really cute, and it was fun to see him so excited. So she's definitely active and moving around a lot. All my kicks are on my left side here, which when we did the ultrasound, that is exactly where she's at. She has her head like over here and her feet are over here. And I'm sure she moves around, but all of the kicks I feel are always on this left-hand side here. Exercise-wise, when I started feeling good, I think I went to the gym 2 or 3 times, and then I haven't been since. I've had really bad, I don't remember if I mentioned it in my first video, but I've had really, really bad sciatica pain on my right side, which I'm pretty sure that's where she implanted, was on my right side. But ever since I got pregnant, I get horrible shooting pains through my right side. So some days it will hurt to just sit up and lay down or move or walk. because I get such horrible pains, and it's kind of like right where the meat of your butt, like if you were like a Barbie doll, right? And you pull the leg off and it comes right into like where the socket where your butt is and your hip. Right in there, I get these horrible, horrible shooting pains. And sometimes it's like it'll just be a quick shooting pain and I'll be like, ow, and then it's gone. Sometimes it's constant. So luckily my mother and father-in-law are chiropractors, so I've been getting adjustments and that's definitely helped. But because I was having so much lower back pain, I just did not want to aggravate it by going to the gym and doing a lot of weightlifting. We had a huge fire here, so it's been super smoky, so we haven't been going outside for the last 3.5 weeks because we've had very toxic air. If you know anything about air toxicity, there's a website called purpleair.com, and you can actually like type in your city or whatever and it will show you the air quality. And good air quality is pretty much, you know, anything under 50, 0 to 50. I think pretty standard is like 27, 30. We were in the 400 range, 500 is max. And so we were pretty much in between the 200 and 400 range for the last 3 weeks, which is horrible. Like you need to be wearing like an actual filtered mask to be outside. So wasn't obviously outside doing any kind of activities. So been in the house for the past 3.5 weeks. I'm hoping, I've gone about a week without having any sciatica pain, so I'm hoping that this week I will try to get back into the gym, even if it's just to walk on the treadmill and do some really light stretching or something like that. I did start doing some prenatal yoga, which is fun, but yoga is really hard for me because it's so like slow. And I'd done yoga classes in the past and felt they were slow, but prenatal yoga is like real slow. Like the lady's like, okay, we're just gonna lay in this position for a few minutes. And I'm like, I am gonna legit fall asleep. So I don't know if prenatal yoga is for me. I'm still trying, but it's very slow and I get really bored. So I might just try to do like my own stretching, but I definitely need to be stretching and getting into the gym. I have had the hardest time being motivated to go. So I need to get my butt in gear and get back into the gym, even if it's just to walk on an incline on the treadmill for, you know, half hour, 40 minutes. So workout wise, really haven't done anything. As far as cravings go, I finally have an appetite, which is so nice. My first trimester, I had zero appetite. I didn't want to ever eat. Nothing ever sounded good. But now food actually sounds good. And what's so crazy is I think I mentioned in my last video, maybe I didn't, but I've told this story many times that I got food poisoning from In-N-Out when Ethan was a week old post C-section. So if you've ever had food poisoning, you know it's coming out both ends and it's painful in your stomach, ugh. And then having a C-section, it was traumatizing. That was more traumatizing than the actual C-section. So I hadn't had In-N-Out burger for 7.5 years. And then all of a sudden it sounded good one day and I've literally had In-N-Out burger so much in the last 2 weeks. Like it's so bad, but that's all like that ever sounds good. I'm like, ooh, I just want In-N-Out burger, which is weird because I hadn't had it in 7 years. And even prior to getting food poisoning, I wasn't a huge In-N-Out fan. I'm not really big on fast food, but I have this little baby like makes me want In-N-Out burger all the time. So I just think that's super funny because I literally have had zero desire to eat it in 7 years. And then now I've had it probably 6 times in the last 2.5 weeks, which is an excessive amount of In-N-Out burger. It really is. I'm enjoying coffee again, slowly. Not as much as I was. I mean, I could down 2 Trenta cold brews a day prior to being pregnant. Now I can barely drink like 1 cold brew. I probably only realistically make it through half. So at least I can tolerate coffee again. I'm starting to enjoy it, which is really nice. Eggs still gross me out. They grossed me out with Ethan too. So I haven't really had any eggs this whole pregnancy because something about eggs weird me out. Chicken, I'm also super weird about chicken all of a sudden. I'm like a big chicken fan, usually. But I have been really weird about chicken, texture of chicken. I just don't eat it very often. There's been a few times I've ordered chicken and then I've like literally stopped eating it because something about it grossed me out. It's kind of an illogical, irrational distaste for chicken, but that's been something that's new that I'm kind of like, I'm also not a big ice cream fan, but I've been loving the Ben & Jerry's Brewed to Matter, which you can only get at Target. It's coffee ice cream with brownie batter swirls and fudge chips. Oh my gosh, it's so good. I only let myself have like a pint at a time, or a quarter of a pint at a time. But that's been like my little sweet treat, which is funny because I'm just not even a huge ice cream person. But when I was pregnant with Ethan, I was obsessed with the Ben & Jerry's mint chocolate cookie, and I would eat a ton of that when I was pregnant with him. So those are like kind of the things I've been craving or not liking. Definitely have had more cravings or distaste for specific items. My first trimester, just nothing sounded good, and the only thing I wanted to eat was oranges. I'm filming a whole separate video that are some of my must-have for my first and, halfway through my second trimester. So make sure you're subscribed, that way you guys can watch that video. But I'll show you a little bump. Oh, I almost knocked my lighting over. This little jacket is from TJ Maxx. It's so cute, I love it. But here is my little bump here. She is, well, there you go. I have only, look at, she's just a little baby bump. There's my little bump. She's definitely there. There's a few other things I could think of. I've gained 1 pound so far, which I can't remember where I was at weight-wise with Ethan, but I've gained 1 pound. I'm assuming that I know I've lost muscle, and muscle weighs more than fat, so I've lost muscle. My butt has gotten a tiny bit bigger, but it's fat. My boobs have gotten massive. I can't fit into any, I think at 7 or 8 weeks, I no longer could fit in any of my bras. So my boobs have gotten huge. They're growing still. And I know when my milk comes in, they're just gonna get even bigger. So I'm very annoyed with how big my boobs are. So those have grown huge. My butt has grown a little bit. Obviously my stomach has grown. I've obviously lost some muscle, so you gotta factor that in. I was 118 prior to getting pregnant. I'm now a whopping 119. And so we'll see. With Ethan, I gained 35 pounds. And so I know that from here on out, it's probably gonna steadily keep growing, or my weight's gonna keep going up. I don't have any stretch marks yet, which is really nice. I think I got some small stretch marks on my boobs my last pregnancy. I'm assuming I'll probably get them this pregnancy because they're just out of control, huge. So some maternity shorts from Target a few months ago, and I keep trying to wear them because none of my other shorts fit, but the belly part on them is still too big for my bump. Like my bumps, they're almost made for like very pregnant women, and I'm like I'm definitely very pregnant, but I'm not, my bump isn't that big. So it kind of like is loose and weird. So I can't even wear those shorts yet. I've tried on a few pregnancy maternity jeans that have like the bump panel. And again, the jean material is too bunchy and loose up front because my bump hasn't gotten that big, which it kind of sucks because I'm too big for regular pants and shorts, even if they're lower cut. Obviously you can't wear high-waisted, but the lower cut ones I can't fit into, and I'm still too small bump-wise for maternity jeans. So I've really been wearing a lot of leggings. I've been wearing jumpsuits, some dresses, but that's about it because I'm kind of in that in-between awkward bump phase where regular clothes don't fit me and maternity ones are still too big. So I think that is it for my update. Nothing really drastic has changed, but I just kind of wanted to share with you guys what my experience has been like since the last video. I'll probably do another one. I might do another one at the end of my second trimester, but if there's nothing that's really changed, I'll probably just wait till closer to my due date and give an update, and then also do like what I'm packing in my hospital bag and all of that. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave and give this video a thumbs up and hit that little notification bell. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.